We're going to make chocolate jalapeno ice cream. This is a regional favorite, just like my grape nuts ice cream, which Jeff has learned to love, is only big in Boston. This one's big in Texas, chocolate jalapeno ice cream. And the interesting thing about it, we were tasting it yesterday. Christi made it at home, and you just don't taste the jalapeno. The predominant flavor that comes through is the beautiful Forbes chocolate. So it tastes like a very good chocolate ice cream. And then about 2 or 3 minutes later, all of a sudden you start getting a little heat down in the bottom of your throat. And so we don't want to have anybody screaming out of here looking for water, so we're not going to over flavor the jalapeno. But it's kind of fun to eat because the more you eat, the hotter you get, which is really an oxymoron on ice cream. So let me...
Steve, to make it the real Texas tradition, you have to add the armadillo eggs.
Armadillo eggs? Yeah. Do armadillos lay eggs?
They do.
Oh, okay. So you're going to pull my other leg. Listen, I'm from the Bronx. I've barely seen a cow. Come on. An armadillo, isn't that the thing they make belts out of? I fell for that one, didn't I? All right. Jeff, would you do me a favor and ask Christi where she is? I think she's lost.
That's an oxymoron.
Yeah, I know it is.
Where are you?
Right here.
Okay. So
Oh, we started without you.
Well, that's okay.
Let's get going.
Okay.
You planning on hitting me with that?
What? No.
Okay, so I was telling everybody that you made this at home,
and just pass it down.
Christi, and that we're not going to overheat it by loading in the jalapeno, but they are going to taste it a little further in. So I gave it the introduction. If you want to start making it.
Well, you keep doing what you're doing, and
I'll do the colored commentary.
Okay.
So those of you who are watching this on YouTube, that's peach cobbler. That comes later.
How much mix, guys?
3.5 quarts. So this machine makes 6 to 7 quarts of finished product. Dairy product is fat cells are fat cells, and they expand. So unlike the sorbet, which will increase a little bit because water, when you freeze it, expands about 17%, ice cream can expand as much as 50%. And we adjust that with the infinite overrun. We can give you any adjustment you want. That's how I can make a homemade ice cream with a high fat, high air content, or I can make Haagen-Dazs, who I helped put in business back in around 1970, with a lower speed. The lower the speed, the less air it'll put in. So it's capable of making 6 to 7 quarts. We're going to put 3.5 quarts of dairy blend in, and then we up the amount of jalapeno flavoring after tasting it yesterday, and that's made by Weber Flavors, very good flavor company. And we've put down on the sheet there the address for Weber Flavors. It's also at our website. There's a button at my website, emerythompson.com, that says Key Suppliers, and you click on that, and it'll take you to all the different companies that we recommend. We recommend them because their products are great. There's also Forbes chocolate in this formula, and Forbes has been around for about 100 years making cocoa powder, and it's fantastic stuff. Chocolate is very subjective. My wife Paula eats 85% cocoa candy bars or chocolate bars. They taste like chalk. They're absolutely awful.
Yes.
But then again, I think the greatest chocolate on earth is M&M's. You know, if I was on a desert island with only one food, it would be M&M's. So chocolate is extremely subjective. Jeff uses the Ghirardelli out of San Francisco, which is famous for their chocolate. I use Forbes, great American company, been around over 100 years, but it's your personal taste buds. When I make some products like my coffee ice cream, the coffee I use is on the bitter side, so I put in a couple of squirts of Hershey's syrup. I mean, you can't get any lower level than Hershey's, and it's a great product. But for chocolate snobs, they would never eat Hershey's. but it takes the bitterness off the coffee. So you can have fun with the coffee aspect of this to your own personal taste.
Steve, does it make a difference in Forbes having no sugar in their cocoa versus Ghirardelli having already mixed in sugar in their cocoa powder?
This is already mixed in, ready to go, so I believe there is sugar in there.
Oh.
I'll have to check the label. Yeah, see, Christy, check that the gate is closed. I'll have to check that later, but because we don't add any sugar to this.
Got
There is sugar in the dairy blend. Yes.
What coffee do you use?
Oh, you're going to hate me for this one. Do I have it here? I have to tell you something personal about me. I'm a coffee snob. I roast my own beans sometimes. I bring in beans from Brazil, from all these different countries around the world. And I love my coffee. But if you want to make the world's greatest coffee, I don't see it here. If you want to make the world's greatest coffee ice cream, it's that awful tasting Taster's Choice. The freeze-dried crystals. I'm not kidding you. And I would never drink a cup of coffee. Sorry, Nestle's, no offense, but I just did offend you. I would never drink Taster's Choice. But it makes fabulous coffee ice cream because the freeze-dried crystals will dissolve in the dairy product about 98%, which means once in a while you'll get a little crunch of a freeze-dried crystal. Also, when you're pouring it in, be careful because there's a 35-cent coupon in the jar, and that adds nothing to the flavor of the ice cream. All right, yes, you've heard that joke before.
6 ounces?
6 ounces.
So this is 4, so here we go.
All right, so you've got in here, Christy, your 3.5 quarts of dairy mix, your 10 ounces of Forbes cocoa powder,
Ooh, you can smell it.
and now the 6 ounces.
Chrissy, that's about the bottom.
Yeah, I'll pass it around.
Did you put a little bit extra in there?
I'm
Or you're
doing it.
About to. Okay. Whoa. Baby.
Supposed to do. It was only half.
Oh, okay.
I already used 2.
right.
I got this. You
So
guys
is it
want to
just
read it
the-
and smell
I'm
it?
sorry?
Sorry, is it just the ice cream setting that you'd hit?
Yeah.
Because you said there's different over on.
Yes, I could do super premium, which would take it down by about a third. I can take it down to gelato, which will take it down by half.
Is that recipe dependent or is that just what you want to make?
Personal taste. If I'm filling strictly pints, I really want a lower air content because I'm going to charge so much for the pints, $10. I want some hefty weight to them. That pint ice cream is great heavy because
No.
that pint ice cream is great heavy because you bring it home, you take a little taste, you have a little bit at dinner. If you're like me, 11 o'clock at night, you steal another taste, you pick at it. But Haagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry tried opening stores back in the 70s and they, for the most part, failed because the ice cream was so heavy, which was perfect for pints. It was so heavy that when you put 4 ounces into a cone, it literally fell to the bottom third of the cone. So you felt like you were being cheated. You were paying a premium price for it. Is that all I get? And it was so heavy that it left people feeling full. If you go out to your favorite Italian restaurant and you eat the loaf of garlic bread and the antipasto and then the spaghetti and then a big dessert and finish it off with a Genzano, you walk out of there and you don't say, I ate too much. You say, oh, Luigi's makes me so full, I'm not going back there for another month. That would be disastrous in an ice cream parlor. We want them to come back this afternoon. So for scooping ice cream, I like higher air content. For pints, I like it to be heavier, and I can just pick my setting. That's my invention from 22 years ago, and no one has successfully copied it.
And
There was
so,
another question over here from the gentleman with the sunglasses. Sir, you're in witness protection with the glasses, right?
Yeah, I'm going for the Unabomber look.
There you go. Bad word to use these days.
I know.
You had a question.
What's that?
You had a question?
No.
I think it was just to smell the flavoring.
Okay.
So this goes on to what Jeff was saying and as well as myself earlier. So I have this one, as you all know. So I took home the Weber flavor, the jalapeno, and I put a ½ ounce in because I don't know how strong that stuff's going to taste. So I put a ½ ounce in. I didn't turn on the refrigeration, just the dasher, let it mix. Then I tasted it, not good enough. Put another whole ounce in, tasted it, still not enough. So then I did another ½ ounce. So you just keep adding to it. Whoops. Can't use that now. Anyway, So you just keep working with your formulas until you developed it. So I figured an ounce per quart is what I came up with as far as that machine. So I put 2 ounces, 2 quarts of mix. However, we wanted to up it a little bit because we can get the heat in it, which is kind of interesting because when you're eating chocolate jalapeno, you don't taste the jalapeno, you just feel the heat from it. I can tolerate pretty spicy. I don't know the rest of you, so it'll just depend.
Mike, our senior tech who's working the control board today with the cameras,
I can't taste it.
He burned out his taste buds years ago doing those. What is that, Mike? What's that one jalapeno taste contest?
Oh, the one chip?
Yeah.
Oh, the Pocky challenge, yeah.
Yeah, it's one potato chip, and they dare you to eat it, and nobody survives it. Well, Mike eats them like, let's have a bag full. You know, so we can't use him as a judge for how this comes out. We'll use all of you.
I attempted that one chip challenge. I attempted it. I tried. I did not succeed, but I tried.
Any questions?
Yeah,
Yes.
Steve, I'm assuming there's a logic for the opening not being wider on the top where you put
Cookies.
Yeah, we're the only machinery that you can put nuts, cookies, candies into. Everybody else, you watch them make ice cream, they're always making just vanilla and adding the chips at the end. That's actually what your commercial ice cream is versus our homemade. When you buy Breyers or Bluebell, Bluebell's my favorite, they're making one solid flavor, and then they've got a $40,000 machine that injects the strawberries, injects the chocolate chip. So it's technically vanilla ice cream with strawberries in it. With our batch freezers and the strawberries going right in, which you'll see later too, for every particle of the dairy that's in the machine, there's a particle of strawberry right next to it. So your flavor is far more intense. That's why the big openings, you know, when I did trade shows or the NICRA convention, National Ice Cream Retailers, they stopped letting me be near other people because the other people were adding everything that's coming out. Now I'm sitting there peeling bananas and stuffing them in the machine and going in this crate and taking a whole bag of cookies and dumping them in. But that gives you a great flavor. I also do what I call fruit flavor and fruit identity. If I'm making that strawberry and it calls for 2 bags for this machine, 1 bag goes in the machine. If you were blindfolded and tasted, you'd say, yeah, that's strawberry ice cream. But you take the blindfold off and you can't see the strawberry. You know, where's the beef? So I'm adding it as it's coming out, so I have the fruit flavor in the machine and I have the eye on it, what the fruit identity. Oh yeah, I see pieces of strawberry. So I'm getting the best of both worlds. Half of the ingredients in and half as it's coming out. It works very well. Yes, sir.
So can you add strawberries towards the end of that when you finish running the batch into the machine so it mixes it up, or you have to add it external?
It will not. No, I'm adding half my strawberries right at the beginning.
The other half.
The other half has got to be
the end or into the machine
as it's coming.
Not enough room.
Yeah.
So as we talked about, ice cream expands because of the fat content. So if you were to look in here, this chocolate ice cream is already at the top of the throat and it's not ready to extract yet. And now it's in the freezing, freezing longer and more to make it more of a solid ice cream. And there's no way I could fit anything into there now because it's expanded. Now on a larger machine, if you did a half batch like Steve was talking about, especially if you're working with water-based products, you could do that because there's no expansion. So you're still going to have enough room in your cylinder to do so. It's just knowing what you're making, knowing your product, and we're here to help with that. You know, give me a call if you have questions, if you're not sure about a formula, not sure if you can add this at this point in time. I'm here for that, and so is Steve. We'll help.
And I don't know if you can hear it out there, but watch this. Here's a great way if you're adding ingredients and you're a little concerned about you're not going to be fast enough. You can open the gate part way, or you can go to the infinite overrun control. Right now I'm running at maximum speed. And every time I tap it, I'm going down 5 revolutions per minute. So now I've just cut it down to half speed. It's going to come out of the machine slower, and I can add my ingredients. If you're filling pints at the machine, take it down even slower, and then Christi found this out. I've been making ice cream for 40 years, and she comes along and says, well, why don't you just slow it down when you fill the pints? And it was so easy. You don't have to go buy a pint filler or some fancy door that doesn't work. You just slow the machine down, fill it, fill it, fill it. It's that easy.
So working with chocolate, I don't know if you've ever heard me say before, the more sugar you add, the longer it takes to freeze. So if you're working with the plain basic vanilla, it's going to take you about 8 minutes. Chocolate can take up to 12 minutes. Same thing if you're making vanilla ice cream and you're adding Oreos or you're adding candies or Butterfingers, that's adding sugar. So it's just science. So if you know your one batch is completed at 12 minutes, well, your next one's not, because it depends on your sugar content.
So how do we know that? Just from our experience?
Just from experience and just from your own knowledge and just learning over time. So obviously we know chocolate has sugar, so we just added a lot of sugar to it. I make what I call an orange Italian ice, and it's literally just orange juice, the Simply brand orange juice, and 2 pounds of sugar. There's no water. No offense, it's diabetes in a cup, but it is really good, and that can take about 15 minutes because the sugar content is so high.
And watch any of the 500 videos. We get accused of repeating ourselves. You can't help it, you repeat yourself. So what Christi just said is probably in about 50 or 60 videos. So you can, every time, people tell me every time they watch a video, they pick up something new. So they're out there, they're free. All you have to do is turn on your computer and you can see exactly every move that we made today. We're taping them all right now.
You can see a younger version of us.
A cutoff check.
You
so
can see
you're
a
open
younger
your
version of us.
machine, let
That's
some
right.
ice cream come out, and to me that's still a little runny. I want to wait just another minute or two. So if it cuts off and it plops into that pan, that's good. I don't like to pull it too thick, and the reason is because when you're putting it into a container, you know, your 2.5 or 3 gallon container, if you pull it too thick, then you're gonna have to smack your tub down and get it to level out. A lot of the ice cream makers will pull it on the thinner side, so that way it'll even out into your whole entire container. You don't have any air pockets, and then you're utilizing your whole tub.
Well, what Christi just did was checking it. My wife knows how to bake. I don't know how to bake. And I've always noticed why, and Paula is also our office manager. I watch Paula when she's baking that lemon cake, and she sets the timer for 23 minutes. The bell goes off, she comes over, but she then checks it. She takes a fork and sticks it in it, or a piece of straw from a broom, and checks it. She doesn't just say, 23 minutes has passed, boom, we're pulling it out. So that's what you're doing, is you're just going to take a quick look at it. It's really that simple.
So
it's not
right
scientific.
Now, we're at 11 minutes, so I said, 12 minutes is about the time for chocolate, so we're gonna hit probably 12 minutes, and we're gonna go ahead and pull it. If this was vanilla, you're looking at 8. If you add Oreos, you're probably looking at about 10. If you add chocolate chip cookies, you're probably looking at 9. So it really just depends. Butterfingers, Heath, Snickers, that's gonna be about 9 to 10.
And all you have to remember is the more sugar in the product, the longer the freezing time. So if you're making vanilla or coffee, 8 minutes. If you're throwing in a bag of Snickers, you better expect it to go, 12 minutes, 11 minutes, somewhere
All right,
there.
we ready?
Watch carefully.
Ooh.
Doesn't that look good?
Ah.
Ready? I can smell it. Who's excited? Who's scared? All right. Well, somebody.
Paramedics are standing by, don't worry.
Out of the first machine, is there much left in that?
There's almost nothing left in it. It's maybe a cup. So right now, that's a 6-liter pan, and this is another liter. So there's our 7 liters, a little over 7 quarts. What was the question? Oh, well, it's left in there. What you do is you plan your production from light flavors to dark. And you're never going to make just one batch of jalapeno chocolate. If this is successful, you're probably going to make 5 or 6 batches. Why make one today and then another one 2 days from now when you could be making 6 batches and fill up your freezing cabinet? So you're building an inventory. So you would start with vanilla and work your way down to darker flavors. Actually